Street brawls, facial glassings and fatal crashes. Unacceptable behaviour in our local community. But to what extent is this the government's responsibility? And how far should our regulations go in an attempt to curb this growing culture? Kevin Rudd has reignited the debate over the legal drinking age, saying that he'd personally like to see the age raised to 21 years.
Yeah, I think it would be safe to raise it to 21.
Alcohol should be at 16.
I think it'd be really great.
And I think 18 is a little bit too young.
Yeah, I think we should keep it at 18.
Age doesn't matter.
I think 18's a mature enough age.
If they can go away and fight for our country and vote, why can't they drink?
I'm 28, man. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think bloody grog hurts anyone.
I believe at 18 they're not mature enough.
Well, I started drinking in pubs when I was 16, so 18's fine enough.
Yeah, I agree with it, but it's not going to work.
Speaking on ABC Television's Q&A program, Mr Rudd told the audience that booze was a concerning factor in P-plate driving deaths.
In relation to the work I do specifically with fatal crashes, I'm guessing, but 20 to 25% of the work I do is related to alcohol. They've come into contact with me because they've killed someone or they've critically injured somebody, and they can't be taken back. They can get their own personal life back on track. The damage they've done is very much permanent. So I guess it's the greatest danger involving alcohol is that permanency of their actions, which is that they've killed someone or critically injured somebody.
Are people at 18 old enough and wise enough and responsible enough to make those decisions not to drink and not to drive?
I actually think there's more to the youth road toll than that, more than just drinking. Sure, we should be, of course, encouraging kids not to drink, but now I think it's a great thing that, you know, when they're on their P plates, they're not allowed to drink at all. So that does give them the opportunity already to learn to drive without any alcohol.
Rules and regulations have been introduced regarding P-plate drivers and passengers, as well as zero blood alcohol laws for inexperienced drivers.
That only applies for the first 12 months, so that's essentially when they're 17 into early 18. They can't carry more than one passenger after 11 p.m, which is good, but you're missing that whole group of people that drink. As soon as they get their green Ps, they're allowed to carry passengers. As soon as they turn 18, they're allowed to drink.
We have people who are getting in cars after they've been drinking, and it is still a big issue, and I, for one, can't understand why people do it.
I don't think all the road accidents are caused by alcohol. I think they're caused by speed and carelessness.
Waste of bloody lives.
I definitely think something should be done about drink driving, but whether age, is going to fix that could be a different story. If someone's going to jump behind the wheel drunk, then I think they'll do it. Doesn't matter what age they are.
Like everyone who's under 18 still drinks, and a lot of them still drive, like ones without even licences.
At some point in time, we have to give those young people the opportunity to prove that they are responsible, that they can do the right thing, and I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to do that when they're 18.
Will more restrictive regulations reduce the road toll when those that drink and drive have disregarded the laws that are already in place? Laws can be written and officers can police those laws, but nothing can replace common sense and personal responsibility.
Look, a lot of people will go to extraordinary lengths to do the right thing before they go out. So I've been involved in cases where people know they're going to go drinking that night. They'll go to a lot of trouble to either leave their car at home, leave their keys with somebody, appoint designated drivers, arrange to sleep in their own car. And that's the decision they make in broad daylight when they're sober. They start to drink and all of that goes out the window.
The community expects, and so does the law, expects that you make sensible decisions and you're held accountable to those decisions at 18.
I think it doesn't really matter. I think it depends on the responsibility of the individual.
If you do the wrong thing, you get kicked out by the said bouncers.
I don't know, depends on the individual.
Yeah, you got just as many idiots over 18, 30, 40, 50. I can be an idiot, 55.
I don't know that necessarily increasing the age to 21 is going to deal with that issue where we have underage drinking.
The people on the street had different opinions, But all were sceptical as to whether the laws would make any difference. Why? Because regardless of the current legal drinking age being 18, we have a culture for underage drinking.
The kids are drinking now at 15. So if you raise it, they're still going to be drinking at 15 or whatever.
You make it 18 and then they do it at 16, and then you make it 16, they do it at 14. So you make it 21 and they're still doing it anyway.
I think you tell an 18-year-old kid they can't do something, and that's exactly what they'll try to do.
If you raise it to 21, they're still drinking at 12 now, so it's not going to make any difference really.
There's a lot of kids our age who get drunk every weekend.
And do stupid things.
Tragic on the street.
I don't think it's going to change much because even 16 and 14-year-olds are drinking.
If it changes to 21, it's just going to increase the age of illegal drink, increase the amount of illegal drinking.
Always young people are going to get themselves into trouble. I think it's just a fact of life.
Would you believe I've picked up girls as young as 14?
I would believe that.
They've walked out of their father's house, pinched his grog to go partying.
We find that the problem is not only the young people themselves that are prepared to drink, of course, but it's other young adults that purchase alcohol for them, and also parents that don't responsibly police their children in terms of what alcohol they do have access to, and setting the right standards for them as to consumption of that alcohol.
Addiction specialists from the National Centre for Education and Training on Addiction are urging parents to be more vigilant in delaying the age the children are introduced to alcohol on the back of changing drinking trends.
I experienced a Year 10 party where adults bought alcohol for kids, and I thought that was abysmal.
If the parents want to give them 1 or 2 drinks, that's fair enough.
My sisters used to buy me alcohol when I was under 18.
Friends of mine, their kids have been drinking since they were 14, 15, and their parents give it to them.
He's going to get it for his brother.
Because the kids can get grog anywhere, anytime, because their parents have got it on the shelf.
It makes a difference at the moment. It's called fake ID.
Despite a prolonged national advertising campaign to limit the supply of alcohol to minors, the centre reports that 75% of minors said that it was easy to get alcohol if they wanted it. Obviously, the message isn't getting through.
I started drinking in England well before I was 18, and sometimes used to get a bit drunk, but never caused any great problem.
Maybe try and enjoy going out without getting sloshed.
Australia, don't worry about America. 18 is it.
I came from a country where you can drink if you're 3, there's no drunks.
I think the moral responsibility begins at home.
When you go for your piece, you should take that as piss as you can get, and then if you pass, that's your drink driving limit.
And wait till you're 18 before you can have a drink and then you get drunk. That doesn't work.
Alcohol is our favourite drug and we've become familiar with it. We are less concerned if our children were to abuse alcohol than if they were to go out and use ecstasy. Even though ecstasy killed less than 5 people last year and alcohol killed over 4,000.
Changing culture isn't just about changing it for 18 and 21-year-olds. They've grown up, their life is pretty well set by what they've grown up with. They've got their parents that's been their role models. So it's not so much damage that's been done, but certainly that's the path that has been laid down for those young people. A meal is always accompanied by alcohol, or a social event is always accompanied by alcohol. It's that acceptance of alcohol being a major part of a lot of things that we do in relation to interaction.
Is there a need to raise the legal drinking age? Or is a cultural shift required to reduce the social dependence of alcohol in our society?